helicopter parenting and a lot of children that were helicopter parented, I think they're going one of two directions. I didn't know there was a name for it, but there's FAFO parenting, or it's the gentle parenting and the totally snowplow, never let my baby ever get hurt kind of a construct. And I think personally, I think that's the wrong one. You know, we have to allow our kids to experience pain, not physical, just pain, but emotional. And
I feel like that is what is hard, because I want to be a snowplow parent. I don't want them to have to deal with anything, especially if it's something that you've gone through before. You want to at all costs protect them from that.
Welcome to the Natural Parents Podcast, where we will cover all things faith, health, family, and wealth through a biblical perspective of putting things in life that matter most back into order. We're reminded in Matthew 6:33, where Jesus said, "But seek first the kingdom of God and all of his righteousness, and all of these things will be added unto you." Join us each week as we focus on what truly matters most in this life and passing those values on to the next generation. This is the Natural Parents Podcast with Ryan and Abbie Hugan. All right, Ab, have you ever heard of FAFO Parenting?
No? Is that a new one?
It is. It's an acronym. You've probably heard of the acronym. It's FAFO Parenting.
I haven't been doing much research here lately, though. So.
All right. Well, it's we'll say it stands for fool around and find out.
Oh. Okay, so that one's been around for a while?
It's a thing, yes. At least the term has. But I think it's actually gaining some I guess, controversy in the online world of whether it's right or not, right? If you should allow your kids to seek their own natural consequences, or if we should, in our parental wisdom, do all the things and help them understand consequences before they make mistakes. If I were to sum it up in my own terms.
Okay, so FAFO, and then there's like helicopter, and they're like bulldozer or something.
Yeah, I'd say those are kind of like, or snowplow parenting.
Yes.
There's gentle parenting.
Where
do you feel like, where do we land? Are we gentle parents?
I feel like it depends on the day. Sometimes, you try to be a gentle parent, but sometimes it's FAFO.
Yeah. Sometimes they fooled around and now they have to find out. Yeah, I understand that.
That doesn't, I guess, necessarily only mean punishment, but that also can just mean like, if you forget your jacket, you're going to be, or not if you forget it, if you refuse to put it on.
Right.
Within a certain age.
Sure.
2, 1, maybe not.
Well, and they might throw a tantrum about something there, but it's not that they're just inherently, oppositionally defiant, trying to challenge the system of, well, I don't want to wear a coat. It's kind of like, okay, not that our kids have recess, but they do play outside and stuff like that. But a school going child might have recess coming up, and mom knows, hey, it's a recess day. I know a lot of schools have like a 30-degree mark or something like that, where if it's wind chill and all that, I think it's 20 above or something, they're going outside. And the kid's like, I don't want to wear a coat. And the parents are saying, okay. Well, then they go out to recess, and guess what? Kid's cold. Well, but more than that, I think, teachers are mad because the kid's cold. The kid can't go outside if they don't have a coat and all this kind of stuff. But how do we navigate through that? A 7-year-old that says, nope, I don't want to wear my coat.
Right. Well, so this makes me think of, it was before Christmas, and the kids and my mom and I we had to go with my mom somewhere. And so then we had to wait. And so we decided to go into a store. And we were in that store, and it was not warm, but like warmer in the morning, and kind of dropped off and got cooler and windier as the day went on. And the cashier was like, has the temperature dropped, and is it windy out there? And I said, yeah, it is. It's starting to a little bit. And she goes, oh, I just wouldn't know because they don't have any coats on. I was like, oh, well, you must not have kids, because I told them all 3 times, and they said, it's warm outside. Get your coat, so I guess that could be, an example. And then we all ran to the car cold. But
yeah. Well, and it's funny. I think, again, it's so much more than, as you said, just discipline. It's really about allowing them to experience life. And I think even when our kids were very little, they get up on something, they want to walk across it within reason. It's not like I'm, totally aloof and not paying attention to them at all, but it's like, hey, just so you know, doing what you're doing, there's a higher chance of getting hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, dad, keep doing it anyway. It's like, okay, I just wanted you to know, walking across that like it's a balance beam, there is a consequence that could be coming, right?
Yes.
And within reason, as long as they're, safe. I think that's the thing. Everybody gets onto the keyboard warrior aspect of side of things where it's like, oh, you're a terrible parent if you let your kid get hurt. It's like, I'm not trying to let my kid get hurt.
Right.
I just want them to safely experience life. I think it's Jordan Peterson, who's, pretty well-known figure in this psychological development space, is, he says all the time, like, you have to allow your kids to do dangerous things carefully.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of value in that. Like our kiddos, they have a wild streak in them and they do things, but so along this line of thinking, I have a video. The kids love to watch old photos and videos because that's most of what's on our phone is videos and photos of them. And they didn't know it, but the girls had a trailer, a bumper trailer, flatbed trailer, and it had
like a Barbie.
No, like a real one hooked to my truck. They were walking along the edge of it. And I was so amazed. I was just videoing them. Parts of me wanted to stop them because I was afraid, oh, you could fall, you could get hurt. But I was like, I'm just going to video them and watch them. I'm amazed at their ability to do this. And they were maybe only 4 or 5 years old, but they're just balance beam walking across this. And they knew the consequence. They didn't want to fall. They didn't need me whispering doubt and fear and, anxiety and concern into their mind. And I just videoed them. So the girls brought this up the other day, but again, it sounds so harsh to say fool around and find out style parenting, but it's not. They were just being kids. And sometimes we have to let kids be kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you also have to have that fine line of not speaking that fear into them to make them always so fearful. I think there's like some statistic that says that firstborn children are usually more fearful, anxiety ridden, and more type A ducks in a row because they're the firstborn, and the parents are like, oh my gosh, don't do that, you could get hurt. And so then they are naturally made into that, and I can completely understand that. So it is
second and third born roll around, they're like eating dirt.
Yeah,
who cares?
they're rolling around.
Yeah, they got one onesie, that's all they have. It's got a hole in it, but it's like, good enough, let's roll. I could see that there's a nature nurture aspect of the firstborn for sure. It's, to an extent though, because we also had twins. But we have a very firstborn, but I don't feel like we were too much with her. But it's just, I'm just contrasting that. I think it's interesting that there really is these, isms, if you will, of like the firstbornism and middle child. We got a very much so middle child, and she's the twin. She just happened to be the second born twin. Yeah. So I don't know. That's just. I
feel like they wear that proudly. You see those videos of like the differences of the first, second, and third.
Yeah.
And I feel like they fit us to a T.
Yes.
Sometimes the roles could be reversed any which way, but
totally.
For the majority, I think that those videos are so funny.
They are, yeah. So, no, you mentioned like helicopter parenting, and the one that I think that's the most prevalent because a lot of us in our generation was raised by a tendency towards helicopter parents, right? Which I always laugh, and I've talked about this before, but like the instance that the older generation complains about the younger generation that they raised.
Yes.
Find that to be so funny. You made us this way. The thing of it though, helicopter parenting and a lot of children that were helicopter parented, I think they're going one of two directions. I didn't know there was a name for it, but it's FAFO parenting, or it's the gentle parenting and the totally snowplow, never let my baby ever get hurt kind of a construct. And I think that's the wrong one. We have to allow our kids to experience pain, not physical, just pain, but emotional and, hurt and all these things. We don't want to, but
no. And I feel like that is what is hard, because I want to be a snowplow parent. I don't want them to have to deal with anything, especially if it's something that you've gone through before. You want to at all costs protect them from that.
Right.
And you and I just had a conversation the other night that was just about that, and how we wish that for our kids, we could protect them from any hardships, whether that's like emotional or physical, whatever that may be. We wish that we could protect them from that and help them to never endure that. But really, then we realize, well, they're going to. Right. So thank goodness if that is happening right now, that it can happen right now, so that we can be there to love on them and encourage them the way that healing us from that can do. And we can offer a perspective that is helpful to them and helps them wrap their mind around what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I say this all the time, even in our own conversations, but with other parents and stuff about what if what you went through was so that they don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always been my consideration. But this perspective is different because it's like, what if you went through it so that you can help them navigate it where you didn't maybe have that help, right? So you went through, and maybe it's, again, a trauma or an emotional turmoil or whatever it is. It's like, why, God? Why did I have to endure that? And sometimes I've found a lot of, I guess, peace in the idea that, it was because I'm going to be different. I'm going to do that differently. I'm going to make sure that my children experience that differently. But it's not that, I say all the time, you can't control what happens in the real world. We can't even control what happens in the four walls of our own home, most days.
Right.
So we have no idea what's coming at us, but we can all help our children navigate better because of our experiences if we allow our experiences to work on us and through us.
Yes. Yeah. And I guess it's just, it is challenging to not want or to not be able to just protect them from everything. But, it's good for them to figure it out sooner rather than later. A lot of lessons for me, one that's really hard to let them figure out is like pouring their own milk. I love to encourage independence, and I love whenever we're at this age that they want to help with chores.
Sure.
Such a blessing, right? There's nothing that I want more for them. Okay, that's dramatic, but you know what I mean. There's nothing that I want more for them than to know how to take care of themselves and what God has given to them by doing chores and cleaning up and taking care of things. I know that's not what life is all about, but as a person who strives for that, it is.
Sure.
But then they're like, okay, yeah, I want to empty the dishwasher. I'm like, no, I'll do that.
Yeah.
You can,
and they get so mad about if you give them, they know if you're giving them a meaningless task.
Yes.
Like, Mom, you don't actually need me to go to my room and find a pair of socks.
Yeah,
it's like,
so, I mean,
I
growth
want to
has
do
happened.
that. I want to do what you're doing.
Yeah. Now we have a rotating on the calendar. It's ABJ. Actually, it's BAJ because Brinley was the first one to unload the dishwasher. And so she's like, I'm first. And then it's Avery Jennings. And so everybody gets a day and a turn. And I love it. It really is so helpful. Like this morning, she unloaded the dishwasher for me while I could do other stuff. And every day we have a section of loving on our home. And they do wonderful.
I only laugh because I come rolling through and I was on my way out to feed the animals.
Did you know that we spend about a third of our lives in bed? That's over 8 hours a day that our body should be resting, healing, and restoring. But did you ever stop to think about what we're breathing in during that time? Most mattresses today are made with synthetic foams, flame retardants, and chemicals that release toxins into the air, especially while we sleep. That's why we made the switch to My Green Mattress, made with only clean, organic materials. There's no chemical smell, no off-gassing, just a pure supportive mattress that helps your body truly rest and recover the way it was designed to. As a family, that peace of mind is worth everything. If you want to create a healthier home from the inside out, go check out the link in our description. You'll see exactly why we love our green mattress and why we'll never go back. As parents, we love finding natural ways for our family to feel their best, and that is why we chose Llama. They make genuine Baltic amber jewelry for both kids and adults, known for its soothing and grounding properties. For little ones, it's a beautiful natural option to help with teething and inflammation, and for adults, it can help ease tension and bring a sense of calm throughout the day. Each piece is handcrafted from authentic Baltic amber. It's never plastic, never imitation, just simple, natural comfort that fits your lifestyle. Check out the link in our description to shop Llama, natural comfort for the whole family.
I came up from downstairs and Bryn goes, "Hey, Dad, you want to do the silverware for me?"
She's delegating.
No, there's no delegation here. I said, "Babe, I'd love to help you, but I'm on my way out
Well,
the door."
no
to go
wonder
take
I
care of
found
the
the
animals."
silverware set there.
As she did it as she was setting it on the counter.
So
She's
in
like,
her mind, check.
somebody will come along and do that. She didn't want to do that part of it. She just likes the other, which I'm all for. That's probably my least favorite chore in the house. I don't know why. I'd rather hand wash a sink full of dishes, then unload the dishwasher.
I don't know why. The unloading is so
And maybe I need to
rewarding.
change my mindset around that,
You
and it
can
would
keep
get
washing
better.
those dishes.
But
That's all right.
I'd rather do that. I'd rather load, obviously load the dishwasher is not difficult, but I've said that forever.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's because I hate that they're a little bit wet
Oh,
sometimes.
they're not in the dishwasher though.
Ours does that
Ours
new
is-
thing,
yeah.
but all the dishwashers I grew up with, I guess, so this newfangled dishwasher we got, it's brand new. We're pretty proud of it.
Sure
But,
is nice.
but it dries, and I have noticed that about ours. That makes me a little less resistant
I'll
to
have
it.
the extra dry button on.
That's awesome. But it was I think I always hated that because then it's like, well, now I got
Do
it's
I
like I'm
dry
already
it, or
kind
do I
of
just like leave it?
yeah. Or then you get the dishes stuck together, and yeah, no good. I didn't like that at all.
Something must have happened to you whenever you were doing that.
I think
chore
it
as
was a
kid.
task I had to do quite a bit as a child, if I had one.
Sounds like it. You're the baby of the family. It all got passed down to you, delegated.
Well, I also figured out that if I just continued to eat, I didn't have to like do dishes. So I just ate slowly and got seconds. And then all my sisters were up cleaning up, and then I just had to do my dish.
I
That's
think
it.
it was my mom that said that at dinner time at cleanup when she was a kid, she'd always go to the bathroom. I think, or she was saying that it was my uncle's. I don't remember which
That's what
one.
some people
but
do when the check comes nowadays.
yeah.
Just,
Oh,
I just gotta go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you get that already?
Oh, I was gonna.
Yeah. So, no, I think, again, back to FAFO parenting. It's hard for me. It's a weird term, but
Yeah.
versus, I think if we contrast the spectrum between that and I would say gentle parenting, there's definitely a middle ground. And that's probably the best place for all of us to fall.
Mhm.
But I think without a doubt, there's probably more lessons learned that stick to through the let them figure it out style of parenting. But I think there's teachable moments that need to be brought through a loving and tender. And you're so good at that. I wish I was.
That's not necessarily true.
Yeah,
You're good
definitely
at that.
in times.
Yeah.
But what else do you think?
I just think that it's a good balance. Like some days call for that, and some days they need to fear you just a little bit. They don't fear me at all. I mean, at all.
Your mean voice isn't that great. I've
should
heard you holler at
practice.
the dogs.
I try to get real deep. I get a deep voice.
They contrast it with the sweetness that you're always talking to them with. He's a good boy.
He's a
And they're like,
good
wait,
boy."
you're usually talking so sweet to me. Why are you trying
Why
to
do you have such a deep
why are
voice
you
this
trying to
time?
use that? Same thing with the kids now. Well, what do you think? What do you think is the hardest thing if a parent, tends towards, as you said, like you oftentimes want to intercede and help them avoid pain and things like that? Like what keeps you from doing that?
Well, I don't know that it's a conscious effort to not do it, to not interfere or interrupt.
Oh, so it's just negligence?
Yes.
Just kidding.
Well, give me an example.
That's the far end of opposition to FAFO style parenting is like, oh, well, it's literally, I saw this argument on the internet. It was like sink or swim. Oh my goodness. Like not a thing. Like I'm not saying that. Like we are just talking about this idea of allowing our children to experience life in a way, and we should do that, in a safe style environment, but that doesn't justify the total end of the spectrum where every time they're doing something or insisting on not wearing a coat or not, brushing their teeth. That's the one I was just thinking of a second ago. It's like, how do you do that style of parenting where like there's such a long-term consequence and it's detrimental to their health?
That was just a demand.
Yeah, like brush your teeth.
Yeah. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Why do they
Helicopter. That's when a helicopter comes in.
Why do they want to avoid it so much?
I don't know. Jennings will do anything he can to avoid a lot of tasks. But my dad's sisters used to tell the same stories about him, that he would go to get in the shower. I'm glad he doesn't listen to podcasts. And he would just turn on the water and stand in there for a little bit and then turn it off and
Do you know what I'm thinking of?
No.
That home video. So Abby loves Abby loves home videos, and her mom has every home video,
She put them on a
categorized
stick for me,
on
like
a SD or a
US
flash drive.
Yeah.
And you can go through and they're year by year categorized, and it's awesome. And there's this one, Abby. How old are you?
I was probably 8 or 9.
Yeah, 8 years old, and she's in the tub,
Okay,
floating in the tub.
But you have to picture, I had shorter hair at the time, as a kid, I don't know if our ponytails were extra tight or what, but when you put your hair up and you took it down, you had like a big bump, like a big wave in it. So that was there. Let's
That's
just,
the thing. I think
I
people
don't,
with straighter hair,
okay. I'm like, I
your
don't
hair
really
was
get them.
straighter than it is now.
Yeah.
Too. Like your childhood. There's ones like little bitty Abby is really curly.
Yeah.
And then there's photos where it's kind of this flow thing.
Mm-hmm.
Your grandma has all the years of photos and all that stuff.
You can see them all.
But the this video, Abby's floating in the tub and she's hollering. She's like, "Mom!" And her mom, she didn't know it, but her mom's videoing through the crack in the door into the tub.
And I'm just laying there.
Laying there.
Tub, but you can't see anything. It's just like I'm
splashing
under the
around.
tub.
She says, "Do I have to wash my hair?" And her mom, and while she's waiting for the answer, she goes, "Please say no, please say no, please say no." So at least you were in the tub. That was a graduation.
I was soaking.
But her son will do that with brushing his teeth.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I know. He comes by it honest.
But you can't FAFO parent that. You can't be like, well, your teeth are rot out of your head.
Right.
That's fine. Don't brush them.
No.
Like you parents encourage your kids to brush their teeth.
That's where it's okay to be helicopter.
Yeah, that helicopter. Not snowplow though. Snowplow is I'll brush your teeth for you.
I want to do that so that I know that it's done right.
I know, but that boy will beg someone else to brush his teeth for him.
Well, we got to really handpick his wife.
Yeah.
Oh, he did tell me yesterday. He said, "Mom, if you're not too old and a grandma, then you can be my flower girl in my wedding."
How sweet
and
of
I was
him.
like, "You mean that? But what if I'm old and a grandma?"
Do I get a role in his wedding?
He goes, "Oh, well, you can." He didn't mention, but the girls get to be with me too.
Oh, cool.
Flower girls. So.
I'll do the wedding.
Yeah, it's probably your role.
I don't know that I could do that. I don't know. I would
No, you
hold it
cry
together
like a baby.
like a big old baby.
Big old baby.
Be a mess.
It'd be an honor, but it's like I also
Yes.
want you to be able to experience the wedding from a dad of the
Sure.
groom point of view.
Yeah. Either way, I don't know. You guys got to let us know. Where do you land on the parenting?
And even for older
Scale.
kids, the parenting of, when do you hand over their finances? I remember it was just like a known thing. When I got a car, oh, you have a car? Well, that means you need insurance, you need gas, you need yada, 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 yada. And if you don't have money for that, you don't go anywhere in said car. I didn't have a whole lot handed to me, but at the same time, I had everything handed to me because I did get that knowledge of how to manage finances from very early. I remember different life, but I remember I was like 16. I had all my finances in an Excel sheet. I haven't changed
Your mom
much.
is the queen of Excel sheets, though.
And I'm like pulling up to McDonald's. I'm like, okay, what can I still get? And I was like, I don't get paid from Walmart till next week. And I was in there counting my pennies, and I used every penny that I had left. Yeah. And I bought myself some McDonald's.
Oh, I love that. Especially funny because you always tell the story that the financial construct of your mind is like your mom would say, you guys got a new van or something, right? It's like, all right, kids, no more going to McDonald's after school and stuff.
That was always her thing, is like if there was a new expense for the family, like her new car, it was, all right, well, we can't eat out anymore.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So I still did it.
What about how did you learn how to pump gas?
I just always.
You just did it?
Yeah.
I've heard so many stories about like teenagers
not knowing
how. God love her. I hope she doesn't listen. But my sister Shannon, like, I don't think she knew how to pump the gas when she first started driving.
I think I was the only girl, but I was always just with my mom.
Yeah.
And so I watched those things. And I think whenever I turned 15, I would try, probably before that as well. But there's a lot but I also was, I don't know, I was always around just watching. So I feel like
that's where Brinley gets it.
I think it is. Honestly, I really do. She loves to just watch people work. I remember going down to the shop. I would just watch my dad work, watch him, do whatever. I just want to be involved and
I love it.
And learn.
It. Yeah.
And I think that that's helpful because we had snow and my van was pulled into the garage and Ryan's truck was gone. And I'm like, okay, kids, there's no way that I can back out of the garage and be able to make it. We'll slide down because our driveway's kind of I'm like, I'll slide down and we won't get anywhere. So I had to turn around my van in the garage, and I'm like, get in, kids.
Cute Austin Powers.
Yes,
like that. Ding, ding, ding,
I mean,
ding,
it was
ding,
probably 10, back and forth, back and forth,
That's
back
pretty
and forth,
impressive.
until I got all the way turned around and my nose was pointed out. And I was like, hold on. And we went.
Send it.
I mean, my kids were like, oh, I can't believe you know how to do this, Mom. I'm like, mm-hmm.
That's good. It's because nobody snowplow parented you.
No.
Just allowed you to do things.
And some things in my life, you aren't going to tell me that I can't do it or that it won't work.
Watch me.
Mm-hmm.
Watch me.
Yep.
I love that. And that's good. That's I think what we all want, right? We all want that for our kids. We want to raise happy, healthy, well-regulated, well-adjusted kids.
Yeah.
And if you are a FAFO parent or a gentle parent or somewhere in between, we love having you as a part of the conversation. Let us know in the comments what your vote is. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe the video. And thanks for joining the conversation.
From the bottom of our hearts, we want to say thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with someone you know and leave a review. By doing so, we're able to grow this community of amazing people just like you and raise a generation of children that know God and do His will on earth. We'll see you next time.
This is the Natural Parents Podcast with Ryan and Abbie Hukin.